What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video here in Horseshoe Hammond. I've never been here. It's just south of Chicago in Hammond, Indiana. I've lived here my whole life basically, and I've never been here. So I had to come here for the vlog, collect a $1 chip, and run up a stack. 2023, we're coming in with a bang. If you guys like these kind of videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, like the video, and let's get right into the hands. Let's go! Alright, new location for the vlog in Indiana, and I hope the run good comes my way. First hand of the night, we look down at pocket aces from the hijack. I open it up to $20 when it folds to me, and the small blind puts in the call. Just a little tip for you guys, if you're in the small blind, you should pretty much just be folding or re-raising. Calling out of the small blind is not the best move in the world, but I'm not worried when the opponent in the small blind puts in the call. We have the bullets and we are off to the flop. When the flop comes 10-8-6, it's a board that's going to connect a lot better when the small blind just puts in the call as opposed to raising. So when he checks it over to me, I debate going for a check behind. He's going to have all the 10-8, 8-6, pocket 8s, and pocket 6s. At the same time though, I have the best hand ever created, so I'm going to put more money in the middle. If he announces the strength of his hand and re-raises, we'll be in a weird spot, but he just puts in the call. So lucky for us, we are off to the turn, which pairs the board coming the 6 of spades. It's actually a decent card, I guess, because 10-8 we now have beat. We have to pair ourselves with aces and 6s. If he did have a hand like 6-7 or 5-6, he now has us beat. When he checks it over to me for a second time though, I'm going to go for another bet. You just have to keep piling money in until they tell you they have a better hand. $55 more going into the middle. He waves the white flag. We take down the first hand of the night. And spoiler alert, that's kind of how the rest of the session goes. Alright, moving right along, I look down in the small blind at ace-queen offsuit. The under the gun raises it up to 10. The cutoff puts in the call. I'm in the small blind, and what did I tell you in that last hand? You got to be 3-betting or folding out of the small blind. So I take my advice and I raise it up to $45. Only the under the gun puts in the call, so we're going to go heads up out of position to a flop. Flop's interesting. It comes 8-4-3, and it's not exactly the best board in the world for myself. He's going to have all those random pocket pairs like 4s, 3s, maybe 5-6, maybe ace-5, ace-deuce. So I decided to check it over to him and see what he does. If he checks behind and we get a free card, I probably have the best hand, but that's not what he decides to do. He decides to bet out for $45 into the $100 pot. Now here's the thing, you guys might be thinking this is just a fold, but actually when I have the ace of diamonds in my hand, this is a call. Couple that with the fact that I have to be calling here with a few overcards a small portion of the time. That way I can't just get blown off my hand on the turn when it comes like a king or a queen or something like that. I have to throw some of these hands into my range to call bets on the turn in the river, and the ace of diamonds in my hand is a perfect card to do it. So I decided to put in the call, and we are off to the turn, which comes the 9 of diamonds. So now we pick up the nut flush draw, and we still have our 2 overcards to go along with it. Of course, I'm going to do nothing but check it over to the opponent, but unfortunately, he decides to jam all in for $103. Would have definitely preferred a check behind, just hit my diamond on the river, and then blast all in. But he's going to make our life a little bit difficult and go all in himself, denying equity. It's a great play from him. He only has 103 in his stack. It's 2023, we're playing aggressive poker, and I decide to put in the call with my flush draw and 2 overcards. The river card is a red card, but it bricks off for us. It comes to 5 of hearts, $400, definitely not going my way. He turns over ace-9 of spades. So yeah, he bet the flop with ace-9 of spades, and then gets there on the turn. I had way more outs than I thought. Any diamond or any queen would have given me the best hand, but unfortunately that's not how this hand's going to go. He's going to take down that $400 pot, but no worries, we're going to battle in this next hand with the ladies. When I'm in distress, they come to me. I'm like a magnet for them. Okay, enough jokes. I'm in the small blind, and I look down at queens. Under the gun opens it up to $15. Pretty easy decision for me. I'm going to 3-bet. It's just a matter of how large. Common sense would say around $60, but I decide instead to 3-bet to 45. A little bit smaller this time. I'm not exactly sure why, but he puts in the call. So I got the job done. He puts in the call. We are heads up out of position to a flop, which comes 10 deuce deuce rainbow. On these kinds of boards, it's pretty unlikely that he has a deuce, so I should go for a small sizing, targeting any of his ace-king, ace-jack, maybe if he had a hand like 10-9, ace-10, something like that. All of his pocket pairs are definitely going to call one bet. So you want to make the opponent's life miserable, and I think a small bet here puts him in a really gross spot because he has to call with a lot of ace-highs and just random pocket pairs that would fold for a much larger bet. But somehow, someway, he does find a fold, but no worries, we're taking down $100. Every chip added to my stack is a chip in the right direction. You know why she's scooping? It's because she's my sponsored pro, right, Brittany? Let's go. Sponsored pro.
Scooping with the nuts.
Real quickly, you guys, I wanted to announce if you're in the Toledo area, that means Detroit, Cleveland, Toledo, anywhere in Ohio, come out to the Reserve Poker Club out in Toledo, January 14th, this Saturday. So just under a week from today, I'll be there from 2 to 7 p.m. playing all the games. Come make the vlog. If you've never made a vlog before, this is your chance. And right after that at 7 p.m., I'll be playing on a live stream, 5, 10, 20. I'm going to post a link to that on my Instagram, so go follow me there if you're going to want to see that. And yeah, if you guys are in Ohio, come make the vlog. It's going to be a fun time this Saturday, January 14th. All right, King Jack offsuit. I have $800 in my stack. I'm in the cutoff. Under the gun raises it up to $15, and I'm going to 3-bet him up to $40. He puts in the call. Pretty standard so far. We are off to a flop. Let's see what the dealer puts out there. Ace-5 deuce rainbow, and the opponent checks over to me. Now, even though I just have king high here on an ace-5 deuce board, I'm still going to have all the strong pocket aces, ace-king, ace-queen, whereas under the gun's not really going to have too many of those. He should probably be re-raising me pre. So I decided to bet out for $20. My logic is sound. Under the gun understands that, and he finds a fold. Pretty standard hand there. We look down at the ladies once again. This time we are in the straddle. The button puts in the call, and I'm having none of that. I raise it up to $40. And he puts in the call once again. So he puts in 10, then he puts in 40, and we are heads up out of position to a flop. It comes ace-6 deuce with 2 hearts. Now, even though in the last hand I said I can represent all the strong aces, when you're out of position, it's a little bit different here. I have pocket queens with a queen of hearts in my hand, so I don't mind checking and seeing a turn card. There's not too many turn cards in the deck that I won't like. For instance, if a jack of hearts comes off, maybe it improves him and we can get some value. I'd also pick up the heart draw. But yeah, I think because there's an ace out there and I'm out of position, I'm going to start with a check from the straddle position and see what the button does. The opponent decides to check behind, bringing in quite possibly the best turn card in the deck, the Queen of Diamonds. Bang! We turn a set. Now here I definitely think it's a bet because there's 2 hearts out there. He checked behind on the flop. But I decided to get a little bit trappy and check it over to the opponent. If he bets, I'm definitely going for a check raise. I'm not checking here just to call. I want to pile more money in. And in the moment, I must have had a read on the opponent that I thought I could go for a check raise and get more money in. But my read was wrong. The button checks behind, and we see the 4 of spades on the river. So at least it's not a heart. I guess it does complete 3-5 now having a straight. But I'm not going to worry about that. There's $87 in the middle. And at this point, I'm targeting the case queen in his hand. Maybe if he has a hand like king 6, 6, 7, maybe pocket 9s, pocket 10s. So yeah, I don't want to bet too big, and I decide that $40 is the right price to get called. My read was wrong on the turn, but it's not wrong on the river. He puts in the call. I turn over my hand, which is almost certainly good. And yeah, he mucks his cards. So we're taking down that $167 pot. A nice step in the right direction. All right, pocket 4 is now Ethan's favorite hand from the button. I decide to raise it up to $20 over a few limps. And Eddie from the hijack, he puts in the call. That means we are heads up in position to a flop, which comes ace-8-4. Bang, we flop bottom set. Not only that, there's an ace out there, so if he had a hand like ace-10, ace-jack, he's just not folding for 2 or 3 streets. This is a dream spot to be in, quite honestly. There's also the club draw out there, a lot of stuff to get value from. When Eddie checks it over to me, I'm thinking about how much to bet. I'm going to go standard here for $25, just trying to build the size of the pot. I might go for an overbet on the turn when he puts in the call, but he doesn't. He has absolutely none of this. No ace, no flush draw, no straight draw, no pair. He mucks his cards. That's kind of a bummer there. Only $60 coming my way, but I can't be greedy. All right, we're in the big blind with Queen Jack offsuit. I have almost $900 in my stack. The $10 straddle's on, and there's a few limps over to me. Now, common sense might say just to put in the $5, go multi-way to a flop, see if I can flop 2 pair, a straight, maybe 3 of a kind, who knows, but you know what? We're going to get active on this channel this year. We're going to raise it up to $65, put some pressure on the table. Everyone's saying they want to play for 10. I want to play for 65, and if they all fold, we take down the money. That seems like a good situation to be in. When I raise it up to $65, one of the limpers from middle position, he decides to raise all in for $125. So yeah, not exactly the situation I wanted to be in, although it is kind of good because it's only $125. I don't expect anyone else to put in the call. So when it folds back around to me, I'm not folding for around $60 more. I put in the call myself. If they had more money behind, I'd probably just get out of the way with just queen high and the offsuit variety. But because they only had 125 in their stack, I decided to put in the call and we were off to a run up. I show Britt my cards to the right, letting her know I was raising wide in this spot. And the flop comes queen high, queen 9-3 with 2 spades. We have the jack of spades in my hand. We won't need the running straight or running flush. The turn comes the queen of clubs, giving me 3 of a kind. The river comes a 7 of spades. I really want to turn over my cards and not slow roll the opponent, but they went all in. I want to show you guys what they had and what kind of hands that people are shoving all in with here at 2-5 in Indiana. Middle position turns over king 10 offsuit, so actually they had me in rough shape pre-flop. I outflopped them, I definitely outturned them, and $300 coming my way. Yeah, just play aggressive in 2023, you guys. It seems to be working out quite nicely. Alright, we're going to keep that same energy here in the next hand. I look down at jack 9 offsuit from the button. When middle position limps, I raise it up to $20 trying to isolate. And he puts in the call. That means we are heads up to the flop, which gives me top pair. Jack 7-5, no sweat, right away making top pair, and the opponent checks it over to me. Gonna go for a standard 1/3 pot size bet. Little tip here from Wolfgang, if you're in between any bet sizes, not sure what to do on the flop, just go for a third. Really can't be wrong. A third, half pot, somewhere around there is usually pretty good. $15 is the price of poker. He puts in the call, bringing in an overcard, the king of clubs. Really shouldn't change too much at this point. I'm putting him on a jack, maybe a 7x or a straight draw type hand like 6-8 or 6-4. So the king of clubs really shouldn't change anything unless he had a straight draw with 2 clubs in it. Now he'd pick up the flush draw. When he checks it over to me for a second time, I think I could go for a bet, protecting my hand against any of the straight and flush draws. But instead, I decide to check behind. The river now comes another overcard. It's the queen of diamonds, which really shouldn't change anything as well. So when he checks it over to me, I'm going to go for thin value against any of his weaker jacks. And any of his pocket pairs like 8, 6s, maybe a hand like ace-7. So I decided to go for thin value. 2023, year of the thin value. We're changing up our game, trying to exploit opponents. I think I'm good here, so I'm going to go for value. And he puts in the call. I turn over my cards. He looks a little bit shocked how I went for value there with the jack 9 offsuit. But $97 coming my way, and happy to implement a new strategy and get paid off right away. All right, the last 2 hands of the night are definitely the most exciting, so buckle your seatbelts, subscribe to this channel. Got a lot of fun videos coming your way this year. We look down at pocket 6s from the +1 position. Straddle's on, so I open it up to $30, and 3 people put in the call. That means we are 4 ways to a flop, which comes gin, 10-6 deuce, bang! We flop middle set. Draw heavy board, there's some flush draw, straight draw ideas. So when the action checks over to me, I decide to bet out a little bit less than half pot for $50. Expecting people to call with any 10x. Any pocket pairs, maybe a hand like 7-8, 5-6. Obviously pocket deuces, and of course those flush draws like ace-5 of spades, ace-king of spades. A lot of stuff to get value from here. I think $50 is a reasonable price. Maybe could even size up because the board is pretty draw heavy. But to my dismay, everybody folds. Oh man, how are they folding? I flop pocket 4s, I flop a set, everyone folds. I flop a set of 6s, everyone folds. I'm not complaining though, I guess. Get a hand for the vlog, take down some chips. And now, without further ado, the hand of the night. Eddie, hide your kids, hide your wife. You're not going to want to see this one back. I look down at pocket 10s from the straddle. Eddie in the small blind, the guy with that beautiful polo rainbow shirt in the top right corner of your screen. He decides to put in the call. Britt on my right puts in the call, and I decide to raise it up to $40. Honestly, could be going even a little bit larger. Probably $50 is okay. But both of them decide to put in the call, so they want to make the vlog. They want to see a flop. And dealer, give them a flop. Let's see what comes. 10-7-3. We flop the nuts. Top set on a decently draw heavy board. 2 hearts out there. 8-9 has an open-ended straight draw. And not surprisingly, they all check over to me. Is this going to be the 3rd time this session that I flop a set and I bet and everybody folds? I hope not. but I got to go for value here. I have top set and draw heavy board, so I decided to bet out for $40 into the field. Eddie puts in the call. Thank God someone finally pays me off when I have a set. And Britt decides to make up for the last times I've had sets and everyone folds. She puts in the call as well. Sorry, Britt, this is a tough hand for you to beat here, and the turn card now comes the 4 of clubs. Really shouldn't change too much unless someone had a hand like ace-4 of hearts, or maybe a hand like 5-6, but that'd be a little bit ambitious. Eddie and Britt both check it over to me, probably a smart move, and now I'm going to size up into this $240 pot. I decided to go for $175. Now the reason why I sized up is because there's the heart draw out there, the straight draw out there. They had a set of 7s, 3s, or maybe somehow 4s if they got there on the turn. They're going to pay me off for a large sizing. I even could probably go larger, like 225 to 275. But I'm definitely pretty stoked about the way I bet this hand. 175 into the middle. And Eddie just snap jams all in for around $1,000. Doesn't even think about it for more than 1 second. Goes all in for $1,000. Did he have 5-6? How did he get there on the turn with 5-6? Other than that, he could have my favorite hand, pocket 7s or pocket 3s maybe. But yeah, the action's on Britt. It's not even on me yet. So let me check my hand real quick and just make sure I have pocket 10s. Eddie's already committed his entire stack, so no tell here by checking my hand. Britt only has around $290 left in her stack. And after a little bit of deducing here, she decides to put in the money. So she has a heart draw. Definitely got to put the money in. If she has a set, have to put the money in, but I think a 10x or 7x holding would probably just be a fold. Either way though, when she puts in the call, I snap call. I'm not going to slow roll them at all. Good people here at Horseshoe Hammond. And the river card comes as 7 of clubs, so that's actually an interesting card. They had pocket 7s, they now have me beat, which is one of the combos I was putting Eddie on. And the club draw now completes on the river, but I have a boat, so that's going to sink that one. I turn over my cards right away. I don't want to slow roll any of these people. Eddie turns over pocket 4s. How does he have pocket 4s there? And he turns the set. River's the boat. Oh man, Eddie, this is a gross hand. $2,500 coming my way. Britt mucks her hand, and she said that she flopped 2 pair. So I guess that's 10-3. But yeah, the case 10 comes out if Britt's telling the truth. $2,500 coming my way. But Eddie, at least you made the vlog, man, right? We assemble our chips into a castle. That's for the thumbnail. That's that beautiful thumbnail that got you guys to click on this video. We rack up our chips and head over to the cage. I promise I didn't leave just right after that hand. Played another few orbits. And yeah, exchanging our chips for some cold, hard cash. All right, you guys, that wraps up that 2-5 session. Why are you shaking your head there? Is it because all my profits from this session came from you?
Push for pocket 4s, no good.
What an awkward car ride home this is gonna be. No, but got in for 1,000, out for 24.23, a profit of 14.23. Horseshoe Hammond, we love you. We gotta end this soon before I get copyrighted from this Journey song. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.